Hello, can chat hear me? Chat cannot hear me.
Hello, can chat hear me?
Okay, yes, chat can hear me. Alright, boys, let's hop on Animal Rivals. Alright, boys, we're running. By the way, guys, I'm on my MetaQuest 2, so, because my 3 broke, so yeah. I'll be in code RXY1Z, guys, in shooting range. Just for all the people that are here. Which, there's probably nobody here, but... Okay. What is up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up, guys? RXY1Z here, back for another banger video. Today, I'm going to be trying to put some effort into my video, trying to make it look good and stuff, you know? So, in today's video, we will be testing the best techniques for every weapon inside of Animal Rivals, and that includes... What's up, guys? RXY1Z here, and in today's video, we'll be doing a long form of testing out all of the best techniques for every weapon inside of Animal Rivals. So let's just get straight into it. I'm not going to do too much talking. And then before we get into this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Road to 550 subs, because, you know, just it's quite a random number, but yeah. And also, before we get started with this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Road to 550 subs, and we're really trying to get there. So without further ado, let's do this. Dude, I need like a better intro. What's up, guys? RXY1Z here, back with another video, and in today's video, we'll be testing out the best techniques for every weapon inside of Animal Rivals. And I don't just mean my favorite, I mean every. This is going to be pretty interesting because I don't even know them myself. What's up, guys? RXY1Z here, back with another video. And recently, I've been thinking, what are some of the best techniques for every weapon inside of Animal Rivals? And that's why, in today's video, I'm going to get straight into that and show you guys what are the best techniques for every weapon. And before we get started with this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Road to 550 subs. That is going to be pretty lit. Right now we're at 425, so let's just get straight into the video. Okay, guys, so the first weapon technique we're going to be diving into is AR. There's a lot of different ways to use it, and one of the best techniques, in my opinion, I would say, is either going like this or this. And every time you're using this type of movement, try to switch it up a little bit. So, say I'm doing this, then people would predict what you're doing because you're just doing that over and over again. Say I'm doing this, that's sort of like a better way to do that. So, now for shooting. If you're far range, you can multi-shoot this from far range, but if I suggest you move your cursor in circles, like very small circles around them, and that'll make it a little bit easier to aim. But close range, you can just do this. That's also a good way for close range. Now, there's not really much to say about this weapon. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can use it in any type of way. But let's just get into the next weapon. Okay, the next weapon I want to go over is going to be machete. I mean, not machete, combat knife. Okay, so this is one of my personal favorite techniques with combat knife. Say you're running up to somebody. So because the combat knife does back shot damage, no diddy, you can run up to them and do that. And if this was like a real match, they would instantly be dead from that. So you would put your hand on them, and then that would stop you, and then go like that. So let me just like try to do this a little bit slower. You would go like run, attach to them, and then once you're attached, you can put this like so that is a pretty good strategy for this. And another strategy, you can just I messed that up. Another strategy you can do with this is you can do that. Just jump on their head with the tip. But the best strategy I'd say for it is just the first one. And it's only doing 120 to the dummies, but I'm pretty sure it would do a full like 400 in a normal duels match. Okay, let's get on to the next weapon. Okay, so the next weapon, I'd have to say I'm gonna show you guys about Deagle. Deagle is arguably one of the best weapons in Animal Rivals. And I don't really have that good of aim, I'll be honest here, because I have a lot of ADHD and my arms are pretty much always really shaky. But what I like to do with this is I would like to keep my guard down. Like it's kind of hard to explain, but I would like run up to the closest like wall and then just do this against the wall. Or for example, in Haystack, you know how the hay bales are stickable? You can do this and grab onto the hay bales. And I will show you that at the end of the video because I will be doing a bonus 1v1 to review all of these techniques. But yeah, one of the best strategies for this is grabbing onto something so you can move around easier, or you can do up and down on the wall, and you can just do a random motion of side to side. Okay, let's get on to the next weapon. Okay, so the next weapon we have here is Sidekick. And also, sorry about my tracking. I'm just on MetaQuest 2 right now because my 3 broke. So, yeah. And so, if you don't have a good trigger finger, then this is pretty much like not good for you. But if you have a good trigger finger, you can do this, which my trigger finger is not that good, but I have to deal with that. And I like this because it reloads very quick. So if you want to get the easiest kills with this, I suggest you try to get as close as possible. because it's pretty hard to aim with, in my opinion, from far, and it does more damage close range. So, for example, I'm really close. It's still not easy, but but yeah, the closer you are, the easier it is to shoot this thing. That's all I gotta say. Okay, so the first weapon I'm going to be reviewing is Sidekick. This was, in fact, one of the first weapons to be released in Animal Rivals, and here are some of the best strategies to use it. Number one, I suggest being above the player you're targeting, because then you'll have a way easier shot at hitting their head, and also it will be like very efficient for getting the most damage. And then you could also get really close and try to dodge all their bullets, because it is, in fact, I personally think that it's harder for people to aim when you're very close. Like, I'm talking like this close. But unless they have shotgun, then you're screwed. But yeah, just try to get very close so you can get that good amount of damage. And then the next weapon we're going to get into is Combat Knife. Combat Knife is arguably the best melee in Animal Rivals, in my opinion, for many different reasons. For one, every time you're close to somebody's back, it will show you that this is ready to strike. And when you're by somebody's back, if you hit somebody in a normal duel match, it's automatic kill. But since this is a dummy, it's not going to kill them instantly. It'll only do 120. But the best strategy to get a backstab with this is run and then grab onto them. Well, you can't really grab onto them, but like you're gonna kind of want to put your hand in front of them and like kind of like do a clapping hand motion, but don't like actually collide your fists, obviously. And then another strategy for this, you can also do that. Just blunt force right to their head. And that's also a good strategy. Wait until you get fully behind them and then just swing your arm behind you. As you can see, that does work very efficiently. And now for the next weapon. Let's go with AR. Okay. So AR, it's pretty self-explanatory. I shouldn't really have to do much on this, but if you want to get the best like damage from far range, try. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is shooting at their head from far range isn't really the best way to do damage, but it's like the second best way. Maybe if you're close up, then yeah, shooting at their head would be a very good strategy. But this would be kind of hard to do, but you're gonna want to try to aim at their neck, like right around this area. From far range, from close range, the headshots would do more, but from far range, the neck shots should do more than the headshots. But it all depends on how far you are, as I said. And also, the best movement technique for this, well, the best two, would be doing this. Maybe would work better if you're close range. Then you could also do this. And I'm not talking like boom, bam, boom, bam. That, because then once you start doing that more often, they'll like know like what directions you're going. So if you're only going like this, then it'll be pretty easy for them to like predict where you're going. But then if you do this, like random directions each time, then that'll make it a little bit harder for them to detect where you're going. Okay, next weapon is Deagle. I don't think I've done Deagle yet. Okay, so Deagle is arguably one of the best weapons in Animal Rivals from other people and from me. I think that too. It's not really the best for some cases, but I find it as one of the best. So, the first technique that would be good for this is trying to get close up. Because if somebody doesn't have a shotgun or anything, if your opponent doesn't have a shotgun, then you can easily get very close to them. And the closer you get to them, the harder it will be for them to aim at you. Cause like, look, for example, say this person was holding a gun, and I just keep like moving behind him and on the side of him. That would make it way harder for him to get me because I'm basically moving much faster than just being in his like visible zone. So sorry if I'm not making this easy to explain, but yeah, just try to get very close. Go on the sides of them, on the back of them, and then the best movement source for this is definitely against the wall. No doubt about it, it's against the wall. So you can either go like this against something or like this against something. Okay, that's all for Deagle. Now let's jump into, we will do Sticky Grenade. Okay, so because Sticky Grenade is not really a weapon, a melee, it's basically a melee, this still is a very good weapon. Let me explain why. So basically, it's not really about aim because these are projectiles and they shoot slower than bullets. So for example, a bullet would basically just instantly hit somebody, but this, it will take a little bit longer to reach like the designated area of where you shot it at. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to predict where the player is going. So let me just give you a little example right here. Wait for him to pass. So basically, for an example, shoot a little bit more in front of them, and then, like, depending on how fast they're going, it should perfectly stick onto them. And also, headshots with this thing are about 120 unless they nerfed it or buffed it. I'm not sure, but if you get a headshot with this, it'll pretty much be pretty good. And I'm pretty sure the stick of it, like when it first sticks to somebody, it does 20 damage too. So yeah. And then it's just a very good melee. And also another thing for the grenade and same for the smoke grenade, you're going to want to have to bounce it off things. Cuz like look, for example, say I want to hit this person. It's not going to fully hit him. It'll probably go through him, but it won't really stop at him. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to probably want to hit it against something so that it slows down or just shoot it straight at the floor next to them. But if you're not like close enough to shoot it at the floor, then try to like bounce it off of a wall, and then that wall will slow the grenade down and make it really easier, well, much easier to like go in that person's range without going too far or too close. Well, too behind, I meant. But, anyways, next weapon is Uzi. Uzi, I can't really say it's a good weapon, but I'll try to find a technique for this because I did actually used to use this when I got the Cyborg bundle. So what I used to do is, do you see how like it doesn't really have that much recoil going up, but instead the recoil on this pushes it back. So what you're going to want to do while you're shooting, try to very very slow push your arm down, like very slow like this as you're shooting. Do this, and then that'll sort of stabilize it. It's kind of like a normal Call of Duty gun, and that makes it very much easier to kill somebody. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to offer for this weapon. this weapon I'm really excited for because it does a lot of damage. Okay. First technique, well, strategy, well, a tip. Yeah, tip. Don't shoot from far range because far range doesn't really work for this. And from what I've been seeing every time I play with this weapon, the recoil is randomized. So look, I shoot it and it goes in all sorts of different directions when it recoils. So basically, this weapon is best for close range. And when you're doing this against the wall, it's also a good strategy for this. But yeah, this has like a randomized type of recoil. So like, look, let me just give you an example. So notice how on this, the recoil only goes back and a little bit up. But on this, it's going side to side in every different direction. Yeah. So the best strategy for this is to just get close up. Okay, next we are going to we'll go with the revolver. Revolver is probably not a weapon that you should multi-shoot because this is what would happen if you multi-shoot it. So what I prefer for this weapon is also another thing. When you're shooting it, this the crosshair expands. So you're gonna want to pull it out. You're gonna want to take it out of your inventory and then put it back in your inventory. Like get a different weapon and then get that weapon again, and then your crosshair will be back to normal. And then I would say keep your arm steady. Try not to use movement with this unless you're very close range. So for example, wait for the recoil to go all the way away. That's the best strategy for this weapon. So don't rapid shoot, but instead try to wait for all the recoil off the weapon to go. Because look, this weapon has a lot of recoil, so don't do this, but instead wait a little before you shoot it again. So I'd say if you want to rapid shoot it, it would probably have to be like that, like pace. Alright, next weapon. Shuriken launchers. Let me see if they buffed this or nerfed it. Okay, so for this, these do a lot of damage if you hit all of them in the head. I'm pretty sure it's like 110. No, 195. Okay. So for this, you will want to have a secondary weapon with you. Try to get very close and then hit somebody with it. And then if you have like a sidekick in your inventory or something, if you hit all of them headshots, you should be able to just grab that sidekick and insta kill them. So let me see if I can do this. Yeah, that's basically what I mean. Okay, next weapon, crossbow. This one people find very complicated to use, and it's really not that complicated once you get the hang of it. Basically, the strategy for this is try to predict where the person's going. So look, I didn't mean to shoot that. You're going to want to basically wait until the player's in the perfect position to shoot. And also, another tip for this shoots through multiple players. So if you have like players lined up, you can shoot them like that and it'll go through them both at the same time. That's a very cool feature about this. And it also will pin them to the wall. So that is for this. Auto shotgun. Auto shotgun, pretty self-explanatory. It works both far range. Its effective range is maybe like 10, I'm gonna guess, or maybe 8. So its effective range is 2 actually. So try to stay in about this range of your player. So, like, something like this would be perfect. And since this has spread, you don't really have to worry about your aim too much unless you want to get the most critical hit. Now, AK, this one is actually really hard. People find this very complicated, but the best strategy for this is to actually don't multi-shoot. Don't just full auto, and instead just do a semi-auto. So like if you're close up, then it's okay to like shoot full auto because the recoil won't go like the recoil won't take a big impact on it. But if you're like far range like this, try to semi shoot it. So don't shoot instantly. Try to shoot like one bullet at a time. Because this is what would happen if you're far and you don't shoot one at a time. Yeah. But this is what would happen if you shoot one at a time. As you can see, it's way more efficient. It's probably not going to look good for me because my aim is horrible. But I promise you that is the best strategy for that. Now this. Most people don't really use the scope on this, but if you're new to the game, you're most likely going to want to use the scope. But don't. Like if you use the scope, it'll be like way harder, like and you have to take like a lot of time. But instead, try to like this is going to be kind of hard to explain, but try to like aim the nozzle at where your opponent's at. So like try to perfectly line it up, and it's gonna look hard for me, it's gonna look complicated, but if you try it, just aim your nozzle at the person. Like try to look at this and this at the same time. And if you see anything in this center area without actually looking at it, without focusing on it, then shoot. So like look, I'm gonna try to move it away from me. That I'm not looking at it right now. And this is how close I can get. But with me focusing on both, then this is how close I can get. Oops. It's significantly better without having to look at the scope. But if you are like a far range and your player's not really moving around as much, then it is very good to use the scope in that type of situation. Okay, next weapon is shotgun. Okay, a little tip to know about shotgun. Okay, so a little tip to know about shotgun. Shotgun shoots, and when you shoot it, it blows your opponent back. Sort of like this. Let me see if I can do it. But if it was like an actual player, then it would like blow them back on impact. Like, so if I had a real player in here and he could take damage and all, like say I shot him, if I would have shot him like that, he would have went flying back. So it has knockback. The shotgun has knockback basically. And you can also sort of use this far range, but I don't really suggest it unless your like opponent also has shotgun, and that's really all you have in your inventory. But yeah, that is a really good strategy for shotgun. Now katana, there's not really anything good to do with katana, but there is one thing that helps out people a lot with their shooting. So I can put katana down there, and then I can get something like an RPG. So shoot my RPG. Hold on. Shoot my RPG and then shoot up. And then that is a really efficient way to get a lot of like airtime. So, but then if you have sniper or anything like that, you can shoot yourself up and do that. It helps out a lot because then you'll be in air and it'll be a little bit harder for them to shoot you, and it'll be a lot easier for you to hit them because of the perspective of what you're looking at them from. Okay, next. I'm gonna go with this burst rifle. Burst rifle doesn't have recoil, I would say. Well, it has recoil, of course, but the recoil shouldn't really affect you because the recoil doesn't go up, it goes back. So if you keep your arm as steady as possible, then the recoil shouldn't really affect you. So look, check this out. Recoil doesn't really go up that much. Instead, it goes back. So just try to steady your arm, and that'll make it a lot easier to hit with it. So I'm going to stand still for this. You noticing how it doesn't go up as much? So, for example, aim for the body, it'll stop at their head. That's how little of recoil it has. Okay, next weapon. This, I really like this weapon a lot because I find it very useful for like close range because it has like a very far range when like you're doing that. Like this has a very special ability. So like you press the trigger, right? When you're close up, it'll do like a little spin move, and that does 70. But I'm pretty sure there's a way you can I'm pretty sure there's a way you can double the spin move and make it do more damage to them. So you're gonna have to do something like that. You're gonna have to hit them, and while you're hitting them, do the move. Okay, so let me just see if I can make this easy. So I hit them 50 and 70. So that makes it a lot easier to get damage. And also, it's really good for finishing off your opponents. So, like, for example, I get them low like that, and then they're done. Do the same thing for this. And then boom. So that's all for that weapon. Now, RPG. For this, I'd say don't really shoot only, I'd say don't shoot at one person at a time. I'd say if you have RPG in your loadout and your teammate's dead, try to get both of them on you. Like, so say it was like a 2v2 or a 3v3, all your teammates are dead, right? Everybody's still alive on that team. So wait for them to like bunch up and try to get you or double team you or something. And then once they're on you, then you can go like that. Yo, what's up, bro? I'm recording a video right now. Nice, bro. Okay, so that is in fact, yeah, I do. I'll post it on my YouTube channel after this when I'm done editing and everything. Okay, so the best strategy for this, I'd say, is to try to get a group of people and then shoot it at that group. So then you're not just wasting your bullet on one person, but you're actually hitting more people. So that'll make it more efficient for getting damage. And then for boxing glove, this one is pretty self-explanatory. Headshots are about 125 or 150, which I really like about these. So if you want to have like a melee battle or something, or if you just want to finish your opponent off, try to get pretty close, but it doesn't have that much range, so you'll have to be careful. But headshots do a lot of damage with the boxing glove. This, it's not too good, I don't think, because there's not really that much you can do with this besides just get some slashes in. But I would say it could help with stuff like getting more speed because like this is basically extending your arm so you can move further. And speaking of that, shovel is actually the perfect thing for that. And also that sword we were showing you earlier. So basically, shovel is very blunt force and knocks enemies back. And a strategy I like to use on the shovel, I would knock them back, very quickly get a different weapon, and then shoot them while they're midair. But they would have to be like an open world map, I'd say. And I think blunt force to the head is an automatic kill if you're lucky. Smoke grenade. Nice, bro. And smoke grenade, I'd say just try to aim it at a random part of the map. So when you're trying to get away from your enemies, you can go to that area and you can like trick your enemies. So I wouldn't say like shoot it at your enemies or anything because that's not really going to do anything, but try to shoot it on a random part of the map so that when you're ready to go to that area, for like example, if you're last on your team or anything, you can go to that area, camp it up a bit, make them go in there, and then once they're in there, you can walk out from the other side. That's what I usually do with the smoke grenade if I'm using it. But I think that just might conclude this video. Oh, it's gonna take forever to edit, dude. I'm not ready for this. No, I'm not ready. I'm not done with my stream yet. I have to edit the video soon. So when I'm done streaming, I'm gonna go and edit the video. Oh no. When there's more people, I'll do some 1v1s and 2v2s and 3v3s. So yeah. But that's when I get more people in here. What? I don't know. I guess I'll just end the stream. Oh, this is gonna take so long to save. Finally. Okay, so that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's my first long form, I'm pretty sure. And with that being said, those are all the techniques for all the Animal Rivals weapons. So if you use these and you like them, I hope you are satisfied. So with that being said, peace out. Alright. Now let me put these on my drive. Alright, peace out, bro. Hit them. Because of the person.
It's time for a pop quiz! What date do you think Gorilla Tag first started selling cosmetics?
March 27th, February 24th, October 18th, December 1st, November 27th, June 16th,
July 5th.
Comment below because we're gonna give you the answer after we show you the 5 latest subscribers. 3, 2, 1. March 18th, 2021! That's when we launched the first EA support bundle. Thanks for all of your support for the past 5 years.
Happy 5-year anniversary, Gorilla.